IP spoofing means hacker, you know, try to get a try to become a trusted network. Okay, try to get IP from a trusted network and try to enter to your organization. So that is, he's actually masking with the trusted network. Okay, he's spoof his IP with my trusted network and try to enter your organizations. So that is called a IP spoofing. Okay, IP spoofing. So IP spoofing has to be enabled at the interface, guys, at a zone base. Okay, so that is the main difference. So we need to enable IP spoofing. Okay, so my firewall would know that if any kind of if IP spoofing is enabled to any of the zone, my firewall will, if anyone try to do a spoof attack, my firewall will identify and block it there itself. Okay, then strict IP address check. It's the same kind of a spoof only. Okay, the same thing. Strict IP address check is a strictly checking the IP address. Okay, nothing is a spoofing and strict IP is the same things. Fragmented traffic. If any kind of fragmented, like a breaking of a traffic, any packet is coming which is fragmented. Okay, so those traffic also going to, if you enable it, is going to be check and block it. Okay, okay. IP option drop. In the IP option drop, there are lots of options: strict source routing, loose source routing, timestamp, record routing, security, ID stream on mail form. So these are the some IP options which we can, if you want to enable, you can enable or leave it. That is not much important. But this is a very important, is a spoof IP address. So that's how you can do for the IP drop. There is options for TCP drop. Okay, even the, like, you can enable for TCP mismatched overlapping TCP subnet. According to the name, whatever written, we know that some kind of overlapping mismatched TCP segment. So these are the, if you want to enable split handshake, whatever TCP handshake is, right? If it is split, so that kind of traffic would coming to this zone. If you want to enable it, TCP sync with the data, whatever is kind of a reject non-TCP. Okay, so asymmetric path. What is asymmetric path, guys? I want to explain. What is asymmetric path, guys? Asymmetric, guys, just careful. Asymmetric path. Actually, you guys would face, if someone belongs to the network, those guys know that. What would happen? I'm just explaining, okay? No need to, if someone not understand, that's fine. That is not important, but I'm just explaining. As like, suppose there is a one firewall and there is a one PC has a IP of 110.0.0.1 and it is forwarding a connection to the internet. Okay, and like facebook.com, whatever it is. Okay, what would happen once he will initiate a traffic is going through this firewall. Okay, but the return traffic is not coming from this firewall. Return traffic coming from some other firewall. Got my point? Return traffic is coming from other firewall. That is called asymmetric. Actually, it is not possible, guys. Why it is not possible? Because my firewall is actually having a what? Connection table. Yes, session table. Okay. If any packet is going through, it has to become returned from the same way. If it will going from the other firewall, that firewall will you know what, treat this traffic as a new connection, not return connection. New connection, right? And that return IP has some different session ID. They have their own session ID because it's a reply coming, right? So my firewall will come to know, okay, it's a reply, but for me, there is no existing reply. It will drop it. So that is meaning a asymmetric path. It means it is going from the one router or one firewall, but it is the return packet. So that is kind of a asymmetric, right? Even in the network router also. Okay, I'm talking about the both are the different, totally different network, totally different device. Okay. Even nowadays in the router, if it's a router, guys, I know that one for one of the PC, traffic going from this router to the ISP wherever, and return traffic coming from the other router. It is happening actually. It's asymmetric, but actually that is not feasible. But some are leaking the route somewhere else and coming. I don't know, multiple things. I'm not a network guys, but it's happening actually. Okay, so that is called asymmetric routing. So asymmetric routing stuffs. Where was that is globally asymmetric. Okay, that has to be enabled. There's a more global drop, bypass, some kind of option. If there is an asymmetric path, you want to drop or bypass it, you can choose it. Okay, so you can choose any of the option. Okay, and there's a TCP time step, string, TCP option. There are multiple things are there. Then protocol option. See, protocol option is not important. That is for the layer 2. What is, I need to explain that. What is like protocol name? What protocol name? Like if you want to allow any kind of dot VLAN tagging. What is it? Let's come here. Ether type. This is for the ether type, like internet protocol. The hexadecimal value is some kind of stuff. See that. So these are the protocol, and this is their hexadecimal value. So if you like IPX, okay. So and hexadecimal value is 0x8137. So these kind of things, if you want to exclude it or include it in the protection rule, okay, protection, like if you want to do a protection for that, just create a name, whatever the name, IPX, okay. If you want to enable and type, you just need to type that protocol. What is that? Not copy paste. 0x8137. 0x8137. Kind of stuffs, guys. Okay. So likewise, you want to exclude from the list, from the protection list, or either you want to include from this protection list. So likewise, you can create, like add, give the name, whatever the protocol, okay, enable it, and whatever the ether type you want to include in the list. If you include in the list, it is going to be checked for this kind of a traffic. If you exclude into the list, it is not going to check in the traffic. Okay. So ether type is clear, guys. This is the ether type. So these are all are the protocols, MPLS, Unicast, PPPoE, whatever it is, I don't know. Okay. It is actually not important, but if you want, if you see any kind of stuffs in your offices, you can just go to the ether type and get the information. So let's come, just click on it. And what are the protocol? These are it. In the protocol protection, these are all the protocol. Like this is IP, Internet Protocol version 4, and this is their ether type. So how it is my firewall going to be follow that with the hexadecimal value. This is the value is actually identify that particular protocol. So like if like I'm taking one example, like audio video transport protocol. So you want to include this, like if any in this zone protection, in this protocol protection, if any if this audio video transport protocol traffic would come, it has to be checked. Okay. So how you gonna create for this? So audio video transfer protocol like ABTP. So let's come and create for this. And in that, give the name. Name would be anything like ABTP, right? Whatever the name. Just enable it. And here you need to type the ether type value. What is this value, guys? This is the value is given, already given in the internet. Huh? Audio video 0x22f0. Yeah. What is this, guy? Yeah. 0x22f0. I don't know. I just type like this. So if you type like this, that's it, guys. So it means whenever with this ether type, it is my firewall going to be identify the traffic. Okay. And that is if you want to put an include list to checking the security for this traffic, or either if you want to exclude from this, that's all depend, right? Excluding means removing, like bypassing, and including means need to be checked. Okay. Got it. So these are the things actually. Okay. Now the next is, guys, Ethernet SGT protection. Okay. So this is actually a layer 2 SGT protection. Okay. So this is what, if you want to create any kind of the same kind of, okay, it's kind of tagging, okay, for the VLAN tagging, everything. Okay. So for the layer 2, if you want to, for some kind of a layer 2 SGT protection, if you want to create an exclude list, we need to create for the exclude list here. Give the name, tag, and enable. Okay. Any kind of whatever the SGT exclude list should be, just give the tag value. So likewise, that's how we can create a zone protection profile, guys. And you can see how zone protection is actually differentiate from the DOS. We have explained it, right? Okay, so where we were, guys? Ethernet SGT protection. So Ethernet SGT protection is actually it's a Cisco proprietary. Okay, so if your device is actually some actually Cisco Trust Security Network, if any kind of a traffic is coming from that, that is actually going to be identified. Okay, so my firewall can inspect the header. Okay, so any kind of a header is coming for the, like, what is for the VLAN, guys? VLAN tagging. This is for the VLAN tagging. So VLAN tagging. What is this Ethernet type? 802.1 IQ. And this Ethernet type is, so SGT क्या करता है ना, for ये क्या करता है कि अपना layer 2 security group का जो भी tagging है, we can create here एंड वो जो भी उसका पैकेट है उसको क्या करेगा, वो ड्रॉप कर सकता है, ओके जो उसका अगर एसडीटी मैच करेगा इस लिस्ट में। सो लाइकवाइज जस्ट यहाँ पे क्या करना है, जो भी लेयर टू एसडीटी एक्सक्लूड लिस्ट है वो हम लिस्ट वहां पे हम लाइक द नेम, दैट इज द नेम, ओके सो एनी काइंड ऑफ अ विलेन नेम इफ यू वांट टू गिव एंड वी नीड टू create the tagging, okay so like which villain, like villain 100 if you want to tag with this. Likewise whenever a villain 100 tagging traffic would go, it will looks, okay and that's how we can you know what we have created for the exclude list. This is actually by default going to be checked, okay but that is for the exclude list we can create, okay for any kind of a traffic coming from the specific villain tagging that is not going to be checked actually, okay तो ये होता है। तो इससे क्या ये क्या है, सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप को टैग करना है, कुछ सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप होता है ना, एसडीटी इज व्हाट इथरनेट सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप टैगिंग फॉर द लेयर 2, ओके that's what's all guys zone protection. So guys now you understand what is the difference between a DOS protection and zone protection. This is whole and soul is a DOS protection, whatever we have explained, right? So these are all as a in the DOS protection only we have learned about the scene flood attack, UDP, only the flood attack stuff. But in the zone protection, flood protection, DOS, like flood protection is already there, but even the recognition protection also there. Packet based attack protection also there, guys. Okay, so that is very much important. IP spoofing are there. Protocol protections are there if I want to enable any kind of things. Okay, so multiple things are there. So once you create your zone protection profile, go to the zone, any of the zone, like come to the outside, and then guys you need to enable the zone protection, okay and whatever I have just created that policy you need to assign that. Got my point, guys? Whatever the zone protection we have created, we have to be assigned which interface you want to assign, outside interface, okay guys. So in the zone protection profile, whatever the profile you will create, accordingly you need to assign to the interface where you want to assign that. If you want to assign for the, because IP spoofing most of the times are assigned to the outside of the interfaces, because outside the untrusted. We have most of the times we thought that okay, it's some attack coming from the outside. Okay, so we need to enable from the, we need to enable IP spoofing, all this stuff at the outside. So that's how once we create the zone protection, we need to assign those things on the onto the zone. So likewise, I have assigned to the outside zone. Even in the inside, if you have multiple zone, even if you want to assign the same zone profile, you can assign to there. Other zone profile for the same, for the inside zone or for the DMZ zone, you just go and create your own, right? So you can create multiple zone protection. Okay. So there's option is add, delete, clone, PDF. That's the only option. So that's how you can create your flood zone protection.